that we are involved in right here has a relationship with the resistance that oppressed people is involved in around the world. And we have nothing, we have an interest in uniting with these struggles. And in fact, if we do our work correctly, imperialism will be too busy trying to put down African resistance in places like St. Pete and North Philly and Detroit to even have the ability to send 30,000 Marines to Afghanistan to colonize the people out there. So this is the type of resistance that we are in the process of building through InPDUM, through our upcoming convention, and we want for everybody here to be able to play a role in that process. We have a lot of work ahead of us in terms of building for the convention. I want to take this time to call on people, if you have not already done so, to register for the convention. Registration is only $25 for 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, February 19th, 20th, and 21st. It's a 3-day process. On the third day, there's going to be a special African Youth Resistance Conference where the goal is to actually build the junta of militant organization, to provide real revolutionary organization for young African workers out here who's catching hell left and right at the hands of imperialism. So we found it necessary to build this youth conference as a component of the InPDUM convention so that we can take this question on involving every sector of the African community. And so again, I want to encourage everybody, if you have not already registered, you need to register today. Comrade Chimarenga in the back of the room, who's holding up the t-shirt, a shameless plug for our fundraising. Y'all need to get you a t-shirt. They're on sale right now for $15. And all the proceeds, of course, is going towards making the convention as successful as possible. So the sizes run a little bit large, so if you wear a large, you might want to get a medium because they run like a size larger. But the point is, we have them for sale. You should go ahead and get you one. And you know, you can sign up. There's a registration forms back there as well, or you can go online to register as well. So I appreciate everybody, you know, for allowing me, the African People's Solidarity Committee, for organizing this event. Of course, the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, for doing the work to make this movement possible, because if it wasn't for the struggle that veterans have made, this wouldn't be possible at all. So definitely appreciate the leadership of the party, and I'm encouraged and excited about this next period of struggle, because this is going to be something unlike anything we've seen in a very long time. Uhuru.
Uhuru. So who's going to the convention? All right, Uhuru. We're going from St. Pete, so sign up, register. Let's send a huge contingent from this area to this important convention. It's good to come to events like this, to get the information and hear it, but we need to swing into action. And participating in this convention is one of the ways that we can get the tools to do that in our community. So let's get registered tonight for this important convention. I want to take just a second to mention a couple things. One is we're going to have time for discussion, Q&A at the end of the program, so I just want to let people know if you have questions for any of the panelists, we can do that at the very end. Also, I want to just recognize other members of the African People's Socialist Party that are here tonight. Gaida Cambone is the Secretary General of the African People's Socialist Party. Uhuru! Chimarenga Waller is the Chair of Recruitment for the African People's Socialist Party. Uhuru! I also saw Onezene Yeshitela, who's the Deputy Chair of the Office of the Chairman for the African People's Socialist Party, and I don't know if she's still here, but I want to say Uhuru to Ona, Deputy Chair Ona. And also Tammy Harris, who's the Administrative Assistant for the Office of the Chair for the African People's Socialist Party. So when Diop was talking, it's almost exactly the same statistics that apply to the city of St. Petersburg, to the African community in the city of St. Petersburg. So it's, you know, it's just so true. It doesn't matter where African people are, they face the same war, you know, against them, the unnamed war. And in that strain, I'm very honored to bring up our next speaker, who is a local organizer for building for the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement Convention in Philadelphia next month, and that's Mwamba Yeshitela. Uhuru.
Stephanie gave Diop a 5-minute intro. I gotta try to find Obama somewhere. Look at that. I just want to thank APSC for having me to speak. I was asked to speak at this event to offer, some insight just on the day-to-day struggles, that goes on in this community. I've done like a few of these presentations already, so I really kind of hate to be redundant, but I think it's important to say that my insight comes from my experiences, going to court, struggling, to try to make money, and, going to jail and all that, being pulled over, being on probation, just the whole thing. And I think it's important to distinguish myself, not that I can be mistaken for like an intellectual, but just to say that, I'm not, I'm just a regular person, what I'm saying? Not to say that I don't read books, but, mostly just novels, But, the situation in this city is rough. It's similar to how Diop described Philly, and I'm sure it's the same, all the way around the board. It's no jobs, there's nothing to do. When people do try to get together and do stuff, you get harassed for that. And the police presence seems to be, at a height, heightened. Like in this smart radius, this smart area of South St. Pete, you got, the state troopers, you got narcotic cops, the sheriffs, and detectives, all just concentrated in this small area. And when you think about it, just from being out here, there's nothing going on that can justify that sort of presence. And they like to act like it's a huge drug problem, that warrants this type of a presence. But, that's a lie. This area is not infested with drugs, no more than the white community. In fact, you can argue that the white community have more drugs, because, like, I was in a holding cell not too long ago. That's where I be held up, in my spare time. And these white dudes, they was having a general conversation just about different drugs that they use, and it amazed me because they knew about these drugs. First of all, they knew about drugs I never even heard of. So that's why I say it was a general conversation, because they were indiscriminate in the drugs that they used, and they had all sorts of innovations in how to apply them, how to heighten their highs with vitamin C and all sorts of stuff. It kind of amazed me. These people you would think they work at Walgreens or something. How they, so, we know that they ain't around here for the drugs, because, they talking about sniffing pills, and the dude who, they poured him over, when they poured him over, he took 4 pills because he didn't want to be sober in jail, and the white guy, he was asking the white guys, do they give you anything to help come down off your high? And the white guy, answered him, no, not in Pinellas County jails, but in Hillsborough County jails, they give you stuff to come off your highs. And it was just, so we know that they're not here because of, some huge drug problem. And first of all, people who they classify as drug dealers around here, when you leave it up to the media or the movies, you expect these, they make it like these people are rich moguls. But, around here, these people are poor people, you know. Ain't nobody, you know, making that type of money off of drugs unless you are at the helm of Walgreens or something like that. Those are the people who really making the money. It's not the people in the white t-shirts. It's the white lab coats, you know. They the ones who making all the money. So what they're attempting to do is to criminalize just the whole population around here, because like they jamming up everybody for anything, you know, fines from the city to traffic tickets to, you know, drug raids, and so everybody is jammed up right now. If you go to court, which is a place I go, like for instance, a few months ago or maybe 2 months ago, I had 3 court dates within a week time, and then, you know, next month I had to go to court, and I have to go to court. I'm still going to court, but you'll be struck by how many people is in traffic court and in criminal court. I mean, it's full, it's packed. And I remember, you know, going to court a few years ago, it wasn't like that. It wasn't as packed. And to a point where you can't find a place to sit, you know, where the bailiffs have to act as ushers, you know. It's so many people in court. It's like Facebook or something. You might go to do some social networking, or you know, to meet a girl or something. I don't know. But majority of people in court, or they in court for drug-related offenses, and traffic offenses. It's not to the point where so many, you know, assaults and strong-arm robberies. Not yet. And again, that just goes back to my point. All these police out here, and it's like, and it's for nothing. You know, I mean, it's not to a point where in other cities it's not to that point. Although I can see it getting there, because there's no attempt to do anything about the economic situation. It's a lot of, you know, drug task force, but there's not a job task force. There's not, you know, anything that's speaking to the economic situation. So the whole thing is the jamming everybody up. For instance, I know a girl who had to do 30 days in jail for driving on a suspended license, and she got, you know, 3 or 4 kids. So she had to make a way while she did her time, like she was some type of criminal or something. She had to, you know, get away for her kids to be taken care of, and so for her to drive her kids to school was her breaking the law. And of course, if she don't take her kids to school, then that's her breaking the law again. So, and the whole license thing is big and around here. And I can't speak to it in other areas, but the whole license thing, where I know so many people who don't have their license because the DMV went up on all their prices, and then the police, you know, they jamming people up for anything. They can, if the police say you did something, you ran a stop sign, then I don't know how you can dispute it. You know, so, and it has other implications too, because like the school system is so bad where nobody goes to school. Is really no point in it, to be honest, and the kids see it like that. It used to be where the young males would skip, or, you know, or realize that first, because they were so hostile to us, but they're not so they're hostile to the young females just the same. And so, like, for instance, now these kids got to go to these alternative schools, so they don't even go to the same bus stops. They have to go to like a bus stop all the way across the city, and they have to wake up at 5 in the morning. So their parents and the people can't take them to school. They can't get them to that bus stop, which they go to, and then that bus take them all the way somewhere. I don't know where the school's at. So the whole license thing is big, because people are dropping out. I know people who don't go to school because they don't have clothes to wear. They go for the first 2 weeks, and then after that, they don't go no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but in addition to that, you know, these are crimes, like the whole license thing. These are crimes that the police and the state are making, because she didn't suspend her own license. They suspended her license. And, you know, so for the most part, you got the police doing the majority of the crimes around here. From they speeding up and down the streets, They on residential streets all the time, every day. They illegally searching people. They illegally stopping